Hello everyone, welcome to another video, but before talk about of subject, don't forget subscribe and leave your like. Miami Dolphins top free agent target has become painfully obvious. Kendall Fuller is no longer a member of the Miami Dolphins, and it leaves a pretty big hole on opposite of Jalen Ramsey. Fuller had a down year in 2024, dealt with injuries, and had money available for the Dolphins to trim some cap space. Now, they have to spend some of that money and more to replace him. Cornerback wasn't supposed to be a huge problem for the Dolphins this offseason, but there had been a lot of speculation surrounding Fuller's return. With his release, the need for a corner becomes a lot more glaring. The Dolphins could use a draft pick on a corner, and if they are expecting to use a first or second round selection on one, there are only a handful of options that could step in and start immediately. It would not sit well with fans if they were forced to watch Chris Grier draft yet another cornerback on day 1 or 2. Will Johnson, Michigan. Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame. Jod Barron, Texas. Miami would be better off drafting a mid-round corner, and that is what many expect they will do, but it won't solve their cornerback issues this year if that is the route they go. Their in-house options are not very good, however. Kader Kohou, restricted free agent. Strom Duck started 3 games in 2024 but still raw. Cam Smith, former second-round pick that has yet to show he is NFL ready. Ethan Bonner, hype 2024 preseason led to a year on the weekly inactive list. Cornerbacks are no longer cheap and the Dolphins can't afford to be cheap to fill Fuller's role. The problem is they may have no choice but to bargain shop. Grier could take a page off the Calais Campbell playbook and look for an aging veteran trying to get one more year in before retirement, but that isn't going to make the Dolphins better. At this point, with weeks left until free agency begins, it's hard to determine what the market will be free agent cornerbacks in terms of salary. We can assume the Dolphins won't go big, given their limitations in spending, and they can't go bottom of the barrel either. Here are a few players that could fill a major need on defense. Samuel hit the NFL with high expectations, but so far, his play has been more average than great. There is a lot of talent that has not been pulled from the still young corner. A better system and better coaching will serve him well. Samuel only played in 4 games last year, and that could keep his price tag lower and draw interest from Grier, but make no mistake, Samuel won't be a bargain by traditional standards. Murphy had 6 interceptions in 2024, the Dolphins had 4 the entire year. Brian Flores coached Murphy the last 2 seasons and got a lot of production out of him. Anthony Weaver doesn't run the same level of aggressiveness in his system, but Murphy would be a good fit in the secondary if the price can be worked out. When Campbell was signed last year, everyone wanted to know how much more gas he had left in his tank. The same can be said about Gilmore. Long beyond what should be the end of his career, Gilmore is still playing well, despite his age. 13 years in the NFL and he is still consistent and, more importantly, available. Gilmore has only missed 3 games in the last 3 years. Adebo should have had the 2024 season to shine, but instead he broke his leg and missed the opportunity to put his name on the tongues of other teams. He will hit free agency this year unless the Saints re-sign him. The Dolphins could get him on a 1-year deal should the market for him not be what is expected. There are questions about his return from the injury and the lack of quality snaps as a starter, but there is a lot of talent waiting to be brought out. Tyreek Hill's offseason fence-mending includes public apology to Tua. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill dropped a bomb in the Miami Dolphins locker room after the final game of the season, and that has left the former West Alabama star dealing with the offseason fallout. Hill said he was out at the end of the season, and in explaining later that was caused by his frustration over the Dolphins season, he said the NFL team needed to add dogs to turn around in 2025. Since then, Hill has been reaffirming his allegiance to Miami and faith in the Dolphins, including quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, he's my guy, Hill said during a Super Bowl week appearance on FanDuel TV's Up and Adams. He always will be my guy no matter what, man. And I'm sure, he understands my frustration. We all want to win. Tua, he's another competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. A lot of people don't know that he's a winner. He's consistent, so I'm looking forward to just us continuing to build our relationship, man, even more. And this is my public apology. This is my public apology to you, Tua. I love you, bro. Tagovailoa missed 6 games during the 2024 season. The former Alabama All-American sat out the 3rd through 6th games because of a concussion before a hip injury kept him sidelined for the final 2 games. Tagovailoa led the NFL in passing yards, and Hill led the league in receiving yards in 2023. But with Tagovailoa's injuries, Hill dropped from 1,799 receiving yards in 2023 to 959 in 2024, and the wide receiver failed to receive Pro Bowl recognition for the first time in his 9 NFL seasons. Hill's need for fence mending began after Miami lost to the New York Jets 32-20 on January 5 to finish the season with an 8-9 record. "This is my first time I haven't been in the playoffs, man," Hill told reporters in the locker room. "I mean, for me, like I said, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm fixing to open that door for myself, dog. I'm opening the door. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here, but..." Then speaking to viewers while streaming a video game, Hill said, "What y'all had heard at the end of the season was frustration. I've been winning my whole life, bro, y'all don't understand. I bust my ass every day. I deserve to feel like that. I deserve to have some kind of opinion. Y'all just want me to say, oh well, get them next year. Nah, expletive, that. We've got to come back. We got to put some pressure on, expletive. Y'all got to fix this, expletive. Come on. Add some, expletive, dogs in this, expletive. I compete. I love to compete, bro." Like Hill, Terron Armstead was a Dolphins captain and a perennial Pro Bowler who didn't get the honor in 2024. Appearing on Fox Sports Radio's The Doug Gottlieb Show, Armstead said Hill knew better than to say those things. "After the last game, he said some things that have to be mended," Armstead said. "He has some work to do to really, show and prove to the guys and to the organization that he's all in. I know he is. I know him personally. I was with him right after he said those things. And I'm not excusing him for anything he said. Tyreek Hill is uber competitive, and all he knows is winning. All he desires, as well. So the frustrations that we felt, that the fan base felt of an up and down season, we're starting the season off feeling like we're a Super Bowl contender to not making the playoffs, that's a lot. So those frustrations for him, he vocalized. But as a leader and a captain of the team, you can't, you cannot be impulsive and just go off the rails." Armstead wasn't the only person who told Hill he had stepped over the line. "Having some conversations with my mom because my mom is still, very, in my life very heavy," Hill said. Virginia Hill, by the way. "She called me. She was like, baby boy, we don't handle our situations like that. And, in that moment I'm chill. Leave me alone. I need you to be on my side. I need you here for me." It gave me some time to think about it. Yes, I could have handled the situation better by saying, instead of saying, "I'm out," I could have obviously handled it better, and I wish I did. But in the heat of the moment, I just said whatever I had to say, and I'm taking full accountability of that because I want to win. We want to win, and I'm sure the fans want to win. But a lot of things, I feel like, a lot of things need to be said sometime, man, so it's tough right now. But I want to come back. Hill has 2 seasons remaining on a 3-year, $90 million contract with the Dolphins. "I don't want to go nowhere," Hill said. "I love it. My family loves it. Kids absolutely love being on the beach every morning, so it's an amazing thing, man. We are really building something special in Miami. We made it to the playoffs the first 2 years. Obviously, this year was hard, but if guys continue to buy into what coach is building and the culture that, he's trying to build, it's going to be a beautiful thing, man." Dolphins could still trade Tyreek Hill despite his groveling U-turn after end-of-season meltdown. The Miami Dolphins' stance on Tyreek Hill's future has yet to be determined, despite the wide receiver's groveling U-turn. Hill, who is under contract until 2026 with the Dolphins after signing a 3-year, $90 million restructured deal ahead of the 2024 season, dropped the bombshell that he wanted out of Miami in a shocking Week 18 rant. The receiver has since performed a startling about-face, issuing public apologies to his teammates in a bid to stay in South Florida. Yet, the 30-year-old's incessant groveling may not be enough to sway the Dolphins' top brass, according to Dolphins insider Cameron Wolfe. Obviously, he had a big explosion towards the end of the season, taking himself out of the game and saying he wanted out, Wolfe told NFL Network Tuesday. He spent the last few weeks, including the Super Bowl on Radio Row, apologizing to teammates, saying that he wants to be a Dolphin. "The Dolphins have certainly talked to him and they're open to bringing him back, but I've not talked with anyone with the team who said they're 100% certain they won't trade him. So unless we hear otherwise, that is going to be a lingering story." Do they move forward with Tyreek Hill as a key part of their team, or do they try to move him and build elsewhere? After the Dolphins' 32-20 loss to the New York Jets in the regular season finale, which saw Miami miss out on the playoffs, Hill referred to his spell in South Florida in the past tense, seemingly suggesting it had come to an end. "I just gotta do what's best for me and my family," Hill said. "If that's here or wherever the case may be, I'm finna open that door for myself. I'm opening the door. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, bro, I got to do what's best for my career. I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there." Shortly after, Hill took to social media and did little to dampen the flames when he wrote, "Love Fin Nation, blessing y'all, open doors for the Hill family forever, nothing but respect and love." In the days following Hill's shocking comments, head coach Mike McDaniel and Dolphins general manager Chris Grier opened up on a productive postseason meeting with the player. "Mike and I both had conversations with Tyreek here yesterday, productive conversations. I will keep those between us," Grier said last month. "The one thing I would say is in a frustrating season he was emotional in a game where we had a chance, coming back from 2-6. And we're playing Week 18 to sneak into the playoffs. And I think all of that with him playing through his injuries just kind of bubbled to a point, and from our conversations, again we'll keep that private, but we had productive conversations. I would say that he never asked me for a trade. And you, fan? Do you think about Tyreek Hill's situation? Write on the comments.